Hello everyone. It's been so long since I last made a video. I have been getting very busier these days, so that's why it took so long for me to make a new video. So sorry for that one. If you actually care, today I have a story to share. But before I start my story, please don't forget to subscribe. This really helps my channel grow. Thank you. The video will just be a story time with me. I got into a car accident.
Oh, give a guess. Straight. No, no, stop, stop.
It's not as serious as I made it sound. I did get into some sort of an accident. I don't know if I would call it an accident, but yeah. So last year, my car was hit by someone else's car, and they had the tow bar at the back of their car. So it did some damage to my car, and I'll insert a picture here. It was just my car that got the damage. So I then made a claim to the car insurance, as anyone should and would. I reached out to my insurance, car insurance, which was Allianz, and I reached out to them and I made a claim in August last year. So in August 2024, I made the claim, and after a few days, I got a response from Allianz team saying, "Can you take your car to this assessor and they will assess your car and then they will come out with a review saying whether they can repair my car or not, or whether it will be a total loss." So if you're not familiar with this, a total loss is when they find it uneconomical to either repair your car or your car is not repairable. Beginning of September last year, I took my car to get assessed. It was in a suburb closer to the suburb I live in. So I took my car to get assessed, and they told me, "Oh, you can take your car back and we will give you the assessment report after a few days." And I said, "Okay." And I took my car. It was drivable and it was roadworthy. And I took my car back and I used my car and did everything that I usually do. And it was like the end of September. I didn't hear anything back from them. So I waited again. In the beginning of October, like I think October 6 or 7, I got an email from Allianz saying, "We are still waiting for the date from the repairer, a date for on which I can take my car to get it repaired." So then I assumed, rightfully so, I assumed that, oh, okay, maybe the assessment report said that my car is repairable and that they are going to repair it. So I was happy about it. I didn't say anything because it was the first email from Allianz. So I just waited. And it was like almost the end of November, and I still didn't hear anything. So I responded to that email that Allianz sent me saying, can you please expedite the process because I have heard nothing from both Allianz and also the repairer." After a few days, Allianz responded to my email with the same script, which said, "We are still waiting for a repair date from the repairer." I again waited. It was in November 15. I got an email from Allianz saying, "We are waiting for the assessment report from the repairer and it will be ready in the next 2 weeks and it will be sent to me." So I was like, okay, at least it's moving forward. When they said in the next 2 weeks, it was already November 15th. So next 2 weeks was, when I looked at the calendar, I think it was around, it was closer to the end of November, which was I think 29th of November. And a few days before it was 29th of November, I got an email again from Allianz saying, "You will get the assessment report after a week." Basically pushed the deadline a week later, which was annoying for me because it's not that they just started the process, it was started back in August. So it was already the end of November. So I was really annoyed, and then I replied to that email saying, "Can you please expedite the process? I know that the process can be long, but I for sure know that it can't be this long that you're taking now, September, October, November, 3 months." I didn't get any response. In the beginning of December, though, I got a call from Allianz, and that lady called me saying, "Oh, so sorry, we saw your email." And from someone who reads my email, they would be able to tell that I was pretty annoyed. And that lady told me, So sorry, we received your email and we can really understand your frustration. She used all her customer service skills to please me. And then I explained my frustration. And do you know what she said? She said, there has been a miscommunication. The repairer was actually waiting for a date from me on which I can take my car. When as soon as I heard that, I was so annoyed, my blood was boiling because so far I was waiting for a date from him, right? That's what Allianz told me, that we are waiting for a date from the repairer. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, what? For the past 3 months, I have just been wasting my time doing nothing. It could have all been solved like way before. And they were like, yeah, so sorry, but it's not the past 3 months, it's just the past 2 weeks. She said only in the past 2 weeks they were ready with the report, and I said no, it's not past 2 weeks, it's past 3 weeks because I started this process at the end of August or like the beginning of September. And she was like, so sorry, it's a miscommunication. And then she was like, oh, would you like the repairer to reach out to you to ask for a repair date? And I said, okay, yes, please. She offered to call the repairer on my behalf to call me. So I said, yes, please do that. After that, the call ended. And after like 10 minutes or so, she called me again saying that they just reached out to the repairer and the repairer will call me tomorrow, the next day. And it was a Thursday. So okay, I said, okay, thank you very much. And then I ended the call. It's the next day now, Thursday. I received no call, nothing, no calls, no emails from the repairer. I waited till the end of the day, nothing. And when it was Friday, I reached out to Allianz saying I received no calls or emails from the repairer and I don't know what to do. After I sent that email, I got no response from them. After not receiving a response from Allianz, after a few days, I reached out to the repairer via email because I didn't have the number. I reached out to them via email and I CC'd Allianz as well. And in that email, I asked the repairer to give me a date on which I can take my car. Because although they were asking a date from me, I wanted them to give me a date because I wanted them to be free on that particular day. Otherwise, sometimes when I go there, there are a lot of people waiting, and then there's a lot of appointments that are clashing. So I didn't want that to happen. So in that email, I mentioned, can you please give me a date on which I can bring my car for repair? And I CC'd Allianz. I said I waited on last week, but I got no response and blah blah, and I got no response again. After a week, I got an email from Allianz with the same script again. So sorry, we are still waiting a date from the repairer, blah blah blah. And then I wrote back to Allianz expressing my frustration again that there's nothing happening and I have been waiting for so long. There's nothing happening both from Allianz and the repairer side. And I sent that email. It was nearing the holidays, like, the long holidays, the Christmas holidays here in Australia. I was so actually raging with frustration, but I was also very proud of myself for being patient. I kept note of everything that I did. I kept all the receipts. I did everything to keep myself safe. In the future, if anything happens, I wanted to be able to show the evidences that I tried and it was a failure from their side. On the 22nd or 23rd of December, I emailed the repairer again and CC'd Allianz saying, can you please provide me a date? I really need a date for my car repair. And then they replied to my email. The repairer said, so sorry. Let me read what they said. What they said was they are closed and they will only commence on the 13th of January. When I saw that, I knew that the holidays were coming, but what I felt was they were waiting for that day to reply just so that they can push it forward like to the new year. So I was really annoyed, and at that point there was nothing I could do, and I just waited. I waited, and on the 7th of January, I received an email again from Allianz. At some point, I really got angry at Allianz because although they are the insurance company that I paid to get the service from them, they were technically providing their services to me by keeping in touch with me through their emails, but their emails were never genuine. It always felt like they were just copying and pasting and sending it to me. So on the 7th of January, I got an email from Allianz saying we're still waiting from the same script again. We're still waiting a date from the repairer. Walking into the new year, I thought, okay, I can't really accept this level of service from both Allianz and the repairer. And I called Allianz to make a complaint.
I don't want to hear any goddamn excuses. Be prepared.
So on the 8th of January, I called Allianz, the Allianz team, to complain about how my claim was handled. And a guy answered my call. So basically, I wanted to tell him the story, the brief about the scenario or the situation that I was in. As soon as he answered the call, I said I wanted to make a complaint about the claim under Allianz. And when I was trying to make the complaint, he didn't even ask me what it was about or what the situation was or what the story was. He just quickly looked at my document that was in their file, and he said, "Oh, but they said they will only open on the 13th of January," which I knew, but I was still not satisfied with the level of service that was given to me for the past 3 to 4 months now. So I said I wanted to complain on about that, and he didn't even ask for me to explain what happened, why I was frustrated. Although I called to make the complaint, he didn't ask me what the complaint was about or the story behind it. He just tried to justify it and dismiss my feeling, which was annoying. And then at the end, he said, "Okay, we will report it and send you the reference ID." So here in Australia, whenever you make a complaint, you're supposed to get the reference ID immediately or in the next 24 hours or at least in the next few days. I said okay and I ended the call. After next day, I did not receive any reference ID. Not just next day. I didn't receive a reference ID ever. I never received the reference ID. So on the 13th of January, the day on which the repairer said they will commence and start working again, I waited neither a call nor an email. As expected, I had no expectations from them. So on the 14th, while I was also waiting for the call or email from the repairer, I was also waiting for an email from Allianz for the reference ID to at least have the satisfaction of knowing that they put my complaint on record, which never happened. At this juncture, I was really running out of options. There was nothing I could do. I tried to reach out to Allianz to make a complaint. Nothing happened. I reached out to Repairer before, nothing happened. When that happened, and when I shared my story to my friend just to feel a little relieved, he gave me an idea saying, "Karma, have you heard about AFCA?" And I was like, "What's AFCA?" And he told me AFCA is Australian Financial Complaints Authority. So AFCA, what it does is it is like a third party which holds the insurance company accountable for their shortcomings or what they didn't do right. So it's like a third party and it does not take your side specifically, but what it does, it ensures that the right thing is done. So I reached out to AFCA on the 14th or the 15th of January, and as soon as I went to the website, there's a whole list of things that could be your situation. So mine was car insurance claim and the reasons why I'm making the complaint. And I filled up the form, and because I kept all the receipts and email thread, I wrote a whole essay about beginning from the day I made the claim till date. When I went to the next page, it said, "Do you want to be compensated for? Do you want a compensation or a reasonable compensation that you want?" And I said yes. And I put a certain amount which I'm not allowed to share. I asked for. After I made that complaint, 2 days later, I got a call from Allianz. And after 4 months, I finally got a response from Allianz that was actually going somewhere. And they called me apologizing. Only when I made that complaint to AFCA, I also got an email from Allianz saying, Karma, we heard your complaint. Your complaint number is this. You made a complaint on this date. That this was the email referring to the complaint I made to Allianz, not AFCA. And they said, your complaint was made yesterday, which was the 13th of January. And I replied to their email saying, oh, so sorry, I didn't make a complaint to Allianz on the 13th of January. It was on the 8th of January. Because usually you are supposed to send the reference ID within 24 hours, which neither happened. After I made the complaint to AFCA, the claim process progressed really well. And I heard from Allianz and I heard from AFCA. And after Allianz went through the complaint and the essay that I wrote, they reached out to me. And in that email, they said that they're happy to offer a certain amount, which I was not happy with. But my worry now was, if I'm not happy with this and if I refuse this offer and I go to AFCA saying they offered me something, I don't want that offer because I refuse that offer. And if AFCA takes the complaint forward, I was wondering whether I will lose the amount that they offered altogether, or will I still be getting that even if the whole complaints process ends there. That was my worry. So AFC actually gave me a number of a financial law firm that gives free advice to people who are going through situations like mine. So it was a free service, which I was really thankful for. I'll insert the details of this legal firm here. So then I reached out to that legal firm and I talked to a guy who really gave me good advices. He said he can't really say whether I will get it or not. There's always a possibility that I will lose that amount altogether and not and leave with nothing in my hand. But he suggested to me saying I can reach out to Allianz again, basically a negotiation email. That advice was really helpful, which I took, and I wrote an email to Allianz saying, I'm happy to settle this case with this amount, which was higher than what they offered, but lower than what I initially demanded. After a few days, they emailed me accepting that offer. So at the end of the day, I got the compensation that I wanted. And they also called me after a few days saying, the result of the assessment is finally out and my car is an uneconomical write-off, which I previously shared, which means my car is repairable but it is not economical to repair it. The price to repair my car is more than the actual value of my car, so they won't repair it. It's not economical, so it is uneconomical write-off. So I had to return my car and yeah, could get all these claims settled, which was a very positive outcome, to be honest. I got the value of my car minus the excess plus the compensation. After a month or so, when everything was settled, I also got an email from Allianz saying my car insurance with them actually ended in August last year. But I have been paying my premium, the comprehensive premium, since August last year to February this year. As soon as I saw that email, I said, can I get a refund then? Because I have been paying my premiums, right? And they immediately sent me the refund. At the end of the day, I was wondering if I had not sent them the email asking for a refund, would they have actually refunded me the comprehensive premium? We never know. After that whole incident, I actually lost my trust and confidence from Allianz, and I think they wouldn't have refunded me my premium if I had not asked for it. So that was the story. The claims has all been settled and I got my money back. I got everything I wanted, although I lost my car to an uneconomical write-off, and it was another headache to get a new car and everything. I'm happy that it's all settled, and the moral of the story is I'm sure that during your stay here in Australia, you will go through similar situations, or you will hear similar stories from your friends or families going through similar situations. If you're going through situations like this and you feel like you have run out of options and you feel really helpless, know that you always have resources that can help you free of charge, like AFCA and the financial firm, which can help you get the outcome you want only if you are in the right place to ask for it. So yes, don't lose hope and reach out to the right person and avail their services, and you will get what you deserve. I had to get a new insurance. I told myself I will not get a car insurance from Allianz again. And I did some research and I came across a lot of car insurance companies that offered the same services that expensive companies like Allianz and RMA on a very lower premium rate. To find the cheapest car insurance companies, so I would advise you all to not get car insurance companies in haste, and actually research before you do that, because there are plenty of car insurance companies in the market that are cheaper, offer the same services as the expensive ones, and it doesn't hurt your pocket as well. I used a website called finders.com.au, which compares different car insurance companies and shows the cheapest ones. And I made an Excel sheet and did everything. And now I finally have a comprehensive car insurance. I wasted so much money the past few years paying for car insurance from companies that are high end or very popular, which don't provide the services they promised they would. So I would suggest or recommend you guys to do your research and get a car insurance that at least don't hurt your pocket. That's my story, and I hope this video gave you some new ideas or helped you feel equipped with resources that could help you in the future when you go through situations like this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and listening to my long story, and I hope you join me next time. Bye.